$60 million script right here, and soon probably to be about $100 million script, right? Hey, Lawrence here, welcome to Business Beats. Okay, so we're gonna shake things up a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is roll out a whole series of short episodes about sales, right? And I'm going to talk about how we do sales in the market. So a whole bunch of episodes about that. So thanks for joining. Let's dive in. Okay, so sales, critical to the business, many ways to deploy sales inside your company, many ways to market, generate leads. There's so much in that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna wind it all back to the beginning. I'm gonna start from where sales normally starts for a small company. I'm gonna start by using this document here. So this document has generated over $60 million of revenue in the last few years. This is our sales script, okay? It's version 85. So in the last 5 or 6 years, we're on version 85 of the book, so we're constantly innovating this, right? It's got framework to it, it has a structure to it. It's how we train people and how we guide ourselves through the sales process with the customer. Okay, great. So before I dive into that, I just want to talk about lead generation, because lead generation will be a big part of the series. So you have to acquire leads from somewhere, right? So whatever you're doing, you might be meta advertising, you might have retargeting strategies, EDMs, Google AdWords, ClickFunnels, deep nurturing campaigns, banners, radio, billboard, television, whatever you're doing to generate leads. All I'm talking about, we bring all that in through a funnel and it's hitting the team, and the team are using this document to convert. What I want to do is I want to start with framework. So today is just going to be about framework, okay? And what framework means in terms of a sale is how you engage with your customer, right? First up, it has to be done to a framework that's in alignment with EQ, IQ, and psychology, right? Human beings think a particular way. If you understand your cohort and your client avatar really, really well, you can rewrite your scripting in alignment with the product you're selling, the price point, and the client. This script is engineered for a deep discovery education program. We sell education products online, accredited ones nationally across the country. We also sell internationally as well. So keep that in mind, but you could sell iPhones with the script if you wanted to. I'm gonna start from the top and do one thing at a time. So I just want to focus on framework. Okay, so what is framework? Framework is the steps that you put a customer through. The biggest problem with the sales team is they deviate off script and end up having an emotional conversation over here where it should be here, right? So you've got to figure out how to wrap barriers around the human being in a sales team or a sales agent's team. And if you have people all over the world selling, which a lot of companies do now, you have to provide them with a framework, because if you are to hold an agent accountable to results, you have to provide them a framework and the tools in which to do so. So the first thing we do is we introduce ourselves, right? So you do an introduction to the client, the customer. You ask them why they inquired. You do not want to call a customer and talk for 60 seconds without them engaging in the conversation. It's just not going to play out well. So that gets them to talk. So you might say, hey, it's Lawrence here from X. You sent us through an inquiry about X. Hey, first question, why did you send through the inquiry? That's it. Simple, right? They interject and they tell you why they sent through the inquiry. Oh, hey, I did it yesterday. I was thinking about it. I've been thinking about it for a couple of years. I want to achieve this and do this. That's why I sent it. That's sort of all you need from them. It's just that little bit of information. You don't want to go too deep, not yet. There's no structure to the framework of the call and the steps moving forward. So you don't want the customer to get into a position where they just start asking you random questions. What happens is you lose control of the call. It doesn't really play or bode well for you. Then you go into some introduction questions after that. You might say, hey, great. And now you're going to qualify just a little bit what they said to you in the first instance. Say if it was an education product. They said, hey, look, I'm looking to pivot from this industry to that industry. Great. And then they may have said, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to increase my income. Okay, great. So now you have two pieces of intel, two pieces of information. Do not ask your customer a random question that are not relatable to the two things I've just told you, or the three things, or whatever it may be. Right? The next thing is introduction questions. So you are going to ask a couple of light questions around the piece of information they gave you. So you might say to your customer, so the first point was, I'm looking to move industries and increase my income. So you wrap that up in one thing. That's their goal, what they want to achieve at a very small level. So you go, okay, great, look, that's excellent. So what sort of industry are you in now? Simple, right? I'm in the defense industry. Okay, great. So how long have you been in that industry? There's another question relatable to what they told you. I've been in it for 7 years. Great. Third question. So why are you looking to pivot to another? I know it's about money, but ask the question again. They will say, I'm looking to increase my income. So they open the door for you to ask the next question, for example. Okay, so if you don't mind me asking, what does that look like practically? Is that a $30,000 pay increase? Is that a $60,000 pay increase? Is that a 10% pay increase? You have to try and get some context around that. And what that does, it does two things. It qualifies the client and it gets them to open up and be honest and transparent and candid with you. Because when people start talking about money early on in a conversation, you know they're serious. So if they said, oh, I want to double my income, well, look, this is probably a bit of a dream. It's going to be tough to pull them down to reality, so I know what I have to do. But if they say, yeah, look, I've been here for 7 years, I haven't had a pay increase, and I applied for a role, they didn't give it to me. So I think I've got a baby on the way inbound, and I think I need to increase my income by about 15%. Great, so what are you earning now? 100,000. Great, so you need 115,000. Great, excellent. So now I've got all the data I need to move forward. Then I jump on to the next thing. I need to set the agenda once I've got the initial information and a good understanding of what they're looking to achieve, right? So that would be, so setting an agenda is very short and you do it for a particular reason. You do it so you take control of the call. And by taking control of the call, it means you're doing the right thing by the customer because you want to walk them through information in a staged way, right? And you want to tell them that you're going to get to that information so that they don't interrupt you every 5 minutes asking the question that you're going to get to eventually. And normally it's how much does it cost or how long does it take, right? Those are sort of two of the things. So my agenda would be for this particular program and this particular product is, okay, hey, so what we'll do on the call today, Mr. Customer, is I'll run through some elements of the program. We can talk about how long it takes. I'll also see if you're eligible for any type of recognition based on your previous experience. I'll answer all of your questions, and then at the end of the call, we can talk about cost and payment options. How does that sound? And then they go, yes, that's great. And then you've got the call set, right? And that's so critical. So because I've said at the end of the call, I'll get to cost and payment options, what it means is they are not going to interrupt you every 5 minutes asking you for the price. How much does it cost? Because I'll tell you, that's what's on their mind. They just want to know the price. They really don't give a shit about anything else. So you have to frame it out for them that you will get to that and do so up front. That's why we set the agenda. It's so important to set the agenda with the customer. If you don't, you're going to lose control of the call, 100%. The next thing we do, we have an element of respect. And that respect just goes simply like this. Hey, I want to be respectful of your time. The call's going to go for about 10 or 15 minutes. Now, if you need to break away from the call, please let me know. No harm, no foul, that's okay. What I'll do is I'll book in a follow-up call and we might push this into a second call. That's it, nice and simple. They really appreciate that because people are busy. And we're calling them back off a lead without a booked appointment. We do booked appointments, but just hypothetically, this is not a booked appointment. So we're calling them in the middle of their day. We don't know what they're doing. We need to be respectful of that. So we have an element of respect in that. It's number 5. Number 6, we do a discovery. And what that means is it's a series of questions that are related to each other, which goes for about 6 minutes. So on average, over thousands and thousands of calls, our average call is 6 minutes in terms of discovery. Okay, I think that's a pretty good number. I think if you did a 60-second discovery, it's not enough. And I think if you're on the phone for 10 minutes doing it, I think it's too much, right? A discovery call is all about digging deeper on their why. So when someone says to me, I need to increase, so I'll use the same avatar. They wouldn't give me a pay rise. I asked for it. They said, no, I've been there for 6 or 7 years. I'm going to move to a new industry, find a new job, and I need a pay increase of 15%. So the discovery will get, things like, okay, so what sort of industries interest you? Have you thought about that? Have you locked that in? Have you spoken to your husband? Is there anyone else or wife? Is there anyone else part of this decision-making process? So $15,000 is what you're looking for. Why is that? I've got a baby coming. Okay, so there's an emotional attachment to that pay increase, right? And we know that our product, our education product, can get them there. So we sort of dive deep on that. I want to know everything about them, skill sets, previous qualifications. I want to know, hey, have you conducted any online education in the last 12 months, 24 months, 36 months? So I'm gonna dig deep on that. The next thing I wanna do when I get to the end of discovery is I've given them the price, all right? I've given them all the information they need. Then I'm gonna book in a follow-up call. But I'm only gonna do that if I can't close them. Now, we don't normally close people on the first call. It normally takes 2 to 3. So what we do in number 7, we have book a second call or move to the first call close attempt. Okay, so or pivot them to a second close call or a third close call. It just depends. Most people will say, can you send me all the information and I'll come back to you. We never hang the phone without a booked appointment, ever. That's part of our policy. So let me quickly walk through that again. So this is framework for the sales call from our sales team and the sales agent. First thing is introduction. Second thing is, why did you inquire? Third thing is introduction questions to get the why. The fourth thing is set the agenda. Number 5 is set an element of respect for their time on the call. Number 6, you're going to go deep dive on discovery questions, get their why, go deeper with it. Goes for about 6 minutes. Number 7, you're going to either close attempt or book in a call to do the follow-up or close attempt. You never get off the phone without a booked appointment scheduled and some reminder automation attached to that as well. So that's the foundation of this document, which I'm going to run through over a few episodes. $60 million script right here, and soon probably to be about $100 million script, right? So this stuff works, and the thing is, you keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate the sales process, keep it simple. Start in a hard copy format first, work with the script, make it better, contextualize it to your market, to your industry. It's a winning formula. So on the next episode, what I'll do is I'll talk about how we start that call and how we progress through all of those framework stages. So that's it. So I hope you got something out of that, at least that framework. You could think about that, and on the next time I speak to you, I'll break that down. That's all I've got. I appreciate you joining, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Cheers. Look, I hope you found something that you liked or that you think may work for your business. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button. We try to push out as much content and good content as we can. Really appreciate your watching, and look forward to speaking to you next time. Thanks.